Foods made with care in the heart of the Hawkesbury Valley, Australia. I'm John Camilleri. I'm the Managing Director of Hypro Pet Foods. Hypro started in the mid-90s as a stock food manufacturer out of a small shed, and we ran out of that for the first 5 years. Today, Hypro Pet Foods has become one of our major players in the market. The focus today is all about respecting your animal, the food and nutrition, and looking after its well-being. Quality assurance is the most important thing in making pet food. We source through our quality control management plan, where the certification processes are quite in-depth process. A lot of ingredients go into make a top quality dog food and cat. Traceability is critical. We've put systems in place to do that. We can trace every ingredient back to its source to give assurance to the pet owner on their quality. We have a full service production line to cater across the board for all of our products. Hypro Pet Foods has grown to become a parent company to a number of brands including Dog Pro, Cat Pro, Supervite, Hypro Premium, Pure Life, Bark and Beyond and many more. I have a team. They're always innovating and making new products, new packaging, new design of recipes. We've invested a lot in robotics. We've invested a lot in automation for the future. Today, Hypro Pet Foods has grown to 140 staff. A lot of my children have worked in the business and still are. They're very passionate about our company and the brand in every area that they work in the business. We're reaching out now interstate to Brisbane, Melbourne and Adelaide, where Hypro will be opening up new distribution centres to service our stores more frequently. Today, it's no longer a pet. We love our pets as much as we love our children. I love what we do at Hypro Pet Foods. I get up every morning with a passion to come to work. The comments we get from the field or from the clients or from the stores, plus also the excitement of my team. We can't wait for the next exciting project to come through.
To keep your dogs healthy and on the go, beat 'em. Hypro, that's the go.
I love Hypro Premium because it's just great nutrition for the dogs and gives them plenty of stamina for their work on the farm and keep their coats and everything else in great condition. Quality food like Hypro Premium ensures sustained energy levels for efficient handling of livestock.
Hypro, that's the go. Hypro, that's the go. Get behind.
So King just covering that right-hand side. Little technical hiccup there. The microphone died on me. So we're back live. Hopefully everybody's hearing a little bit of commentary as Ben Miller gets his sheep around behind the winding peg. His big black dog King sets him up and away he goes. He's taken a step. He's off his handler's post and heading for the first section. And this is the Australian section of the course. Ideally, he wants to carry him on his right-hand side, but that sheep just giving him a little bit of trouble. King there, blocking, holding, trying to impress them so that he can settle them well enough to go into the drive section. And their heads are up. They're having a little run, breaking out onto the right-hand side of the course. And that sheep's gone for it. King's there. Wow. He looks like trouble, that big fella. And Kings has to work really hard just to put the blocks in. And Ben whistling away, keeping King working, giving ground, holding, as he just draws them along. Hasn't hurt too much, but he doesn't look happy. You can see that lead sheep right in the middle. The other two look pretty good. Straight away having a look for the gap, but when he goes through it, he's going to take off. There he goes. King had to be on his toes, got to the head, just pulled him up. Ben's through. That sheep is really not happy. Another breakaway. Ben gets himself big. Needs to turn their heads towards that Maltese cross. Big 15-metre corridor to work in, but ideally they should be flowing in a straight line. And they're just spinning on the spot a little bit. King had to get to the heads to pull them up, and again they're off and running. Here he goes. And they're breaking out. That sheep is trouble with a capital T. He doesn't look good. The other two are passengers. They're following along. Young bloke Ben Miller keeping his cool. He's going to need to, because he's really early in the trial, really. And they've slipped down the side. King's there. That one's gone for a big run. He's gone all the way around. King flips him back. And the tension is already high because New Zealand looking for a good start. Post some scores and get the pressure back on the Australian team. It's just going a little bit shaky at the moment. That sheep is giving Ben and King a world of pain. Just doesn't want to cooperate. So King just manoeuvring now. Ben steps in. Through they go. That sheep led him through pretty nicely. Hasn't gone too far, so that's good. King will wheel him around onto the opposite side of this Maltese cross. In one way. Across the course, and then come back through and head off towards the bridge. Just setting him up now. Ben taking up his position. Going to build a wall on this side. Try and block the sheep. Stop them from breaking. And King just being careful, gently bringing them around. And that guy's still giving him trouble at the far side. Heads up still, ready to run. Could go anywhere. Ben puts a block on. See if he can roll them in. Oh, beautifully done. Turns them straight. Oh, one went the wrong way. Got it. A little bit of fast footwork there from Ben. Goodness. Had to have his wits about him, and he was right on the job. Fantastic work. And so now they're off to the next part of the drive section. The New Zealand part of the course. So stay behind his sheep. Doesn't get in front of that lead sheep. You can see he's making himself big, putting a block on this side. They want to suck into the middle of the course. And they keep looking, and Ben is just holding his ground. King bringing him up from behind. It really is a partnership. Ticking over now, much nicer. That's better. He's still having to work hard, Ben. This chilly morning, he'll get him warmed up a bit. And he heads towards that handler's line. Once he crosses that handler's line, he can step in and start working the sheep up over the bridge. There they go. In they come. Ben's onto it. King's on the tail. It's just hanging on to that lead sheep. That lead sheep could go anywhere. He wants to twist and turn. Look at him. He's rolled back inside. And he's the leader. He needs to go first. The other sheep won't do anything. There they go. He's having a look. Up they go. Beautifully done. Bit of tension. Handled it beautifully. So Ben Miller with his dog King. Just the pen to go. Back into the Australian part of the course. Carrying him on the right-hand side. Just got him in his hip pocket beautifully. A little run now. King's there. You can see all the pressure is back up the ground. And they're happy to run past where Ben was. So it's the dog's job to step in there and say, well, get back on course. And they're fighting a bit. Every 9 metres they stay off course. It's a point. And they've done a couple down this side, but better not to upset them. That guy still wants to run. With a bit of luck, he'll run straight into the pen, but I wouldn't say that's going to happen in a hurry. He looks to like he wants to go anywhere but. So Australia will have their competitor out next. New Zealand won the toss and elected to go first. Ben, changing the order this time. Ben got the tap on the shoulder to head in there with King. Performed very well yesterday, so they're hoping to post a pretty good score in their first round. Put the pressure right back on Australia. He's lining that pen up now. Really important to get this pen. 20 points. They're just milling a little bit at the mouth. Don't look super happy. Looking to go away. They see it as a trap. They don't want to go into that pen. They feel the pressure of the back of the pen. Feel the pressure of the handler. Ben just checks his watch. Plenty of time. He's done it in good time. And now they just roll in. Beautifully done. Pressure from the dog. Calm. Walk up pressure. Ben goes for the gate. Picks it up. Ben Miller from New Zealand posting the first score for New Zealand. We'll have that for you shortly. And his dog King finishing up his test match tour. His first appearance and doing a fantastic job. First competitor out for Australia, Mick Hudson, with his white dog Rabbit. Put on a pretty good show yesterday. Top scored for the test. And they'll be looking to have a good run this morning to put the pressure back on the Kiwis. Ben Miller just finishing his run, penning nicely. Had a little bit of trouble around the ground. The sheep weren't super cooperative, but he got it done. So Rabbit's out and about, left side of the course, swooping in. And 3 fresh sheep have been released. Look like a fairly even bunch. Taller one on the far right. We'll see which one gives us trouble, because there always seems to be one. So Rabbit just getting in touch with her sheep now. And mornings can be a good time to work, and sheep tend to be up and about. They tend to be happy to come out and do something. This mid-afternoon can be a problem when they want looking to camp up. But the storms and the wind have changed everything here, because every day with the wind's been howling, and that's upset them a fair bit and made them a tricky prospect when you're trying to work 3 crazy sheep, merinos. These are 2-year-old wethers. And Rabbit's got them pretty settled, having a little nibble of the grass. You can see in the background the wind is swirling around a little bit, but nowhere near what it was like yesterday. We had hail, we had black clouds, we had rain. Poor old Will Goggin out there, he got hammered. Just a little bit chilly this morning with that breeze. So Ben Miller from New Zealand, with his dog King, scored a terrific 80.5, and that puts the pressure clearly back on the Australians. Good score to start the day. They were a little bit tricky, but he handled them very, very well and got the job done. So Mick's got the job to do. Australia looking for a clean sweep. 2 tests up at the moment. They won last night's test by 2.5 points. Tight contest. Mick Hudson with Rabbit. Just bringing those sheep down carefully towards that handler's post. He's got to bring them around on his left and then carry them up on his right towards that first obstacle. The Australian section of the course, 9 metre corridor, pretty narrow. You can see they're marked clearly with those orange markers. And you can see where the sheep have gone now. They've just broken out past that back marker. So that'll be costing him a point or 2 from the judges. A judge from New Zealand, Pat Coogan, he's in the black. He's on foot. You can see him standing on the fence there just as the sheep arrive. Just going up to him, actually. The Rabbit's there to cover and hold them, bring them back on course. And they're walking along the fence, just not being as cooperative as they might be for Rabbit. They're just pushing on her a little bit. She steps in and gets them moving. And our judge from Australia, Billy Davison, he'll be in the buggy on the outside. So it gives the judges a view from different angles. There was a little bit of controversy in our first test. Differences in scoring. But that's what happens when the judges get in different positions. They see different things. And that's why we have 2 judges. Judge in the buggy runs the boundary. The other judge from New Zealand, he's walking very close to the sheep, watching those corridors. He'd see every little point as the sheep stepped out. And they're stepping out a little bit at the moment on Mick. They're running pretty far too, so this is costing him a few. Score out of 100. So an 80.5 for Ben was a great score. And Mick Hudson, our first competitor for Australia, strolling down the ground. Looks pretty cool and casual. Representing the green and gold. Done it a few times now. He's been probably our top trialer for a lot of years. Winning pretty consistently around the trial grounds. He'll feature later also in the Supreme Championship top 10. So he's got a busy day ahead of him. And I think Rabbit is also featuring in that event as well. So she's got a big day too. Got to be fit. There she goes, wheels around, catches that sheep just before it breaks down the side. If you can just hold them in front of the obstacle, they'll find the gap. But when they find the side, they go for that as well. So Rabbit just edging closer, inching, pointing their heads towards that gap. This big guy on the outside, there he goes, he's wheeled around. Beautifully positioned. Yeah, Mick just taking his time. He wants them to go through there at a walk, doesn't want them running. Sometimes they jump through those gaps and explode. Here they go, they're off. So Mick walks through the gap and into his drive. Rabbit just holding her side. Mick's away. And that looks pretty good at the moment. They're just trotting nicely, heading towards that Maltese cross. And Mick gets a bit of a jog on too. He doesn't want to let them get too far ahead. And they just walk in very, very nicely. Rabbit, let's try and bend that sheep's head towards that gap. Mick staying out of the way for the moment. Here they come, cross. One's had a look, 2, 3, in they go. Beautifully done, really, no trouble at all. Rabbit's already on to the next section. She's starting to know the game. Round she goes. Catches them before they make a break for the fence. And Mick gets in position, sets up his wall. Rabbit just bringing him around that side. This has been the tricky part of the Maltese cross. First section seems to have been reasonable. Not too much trouble. The second part's been a little bit more tricky, but these guys have just wandered straight through. Beautifully done. Wow, you wouldn't see it done much better than that. That was terrific. No fuss. Bend them around, point them in the right direction, and away they go. So into the drive, back towards the bridge. 4 obstacles to complete, and each with its own section of scoring. So you can have one little mistake where you can blow a few points and lose a section, but you've still got 3 sections to make your score manageable. And that's a little bit different to the way we score a sheepdog trial generally. This sectionalised approach. He's in the bridge section now. Just stepping over the handler's line as the sheep go. There they go. In they go. Once they pass that line, Mick can take control of them a little bit. But the judge wants to see the dog doing their fair share of work. They've just slipped down the side of that bridge. And there's Rabbit just to bring him back again. One let him up nicely, beautifully. Over they go. Once again, no trouble. And there's Rabbit wheeling around, gathering them up. So they started in that first section a little bit touchy, and they've settled really nicely since. But yesterday, Mick had an outstanding run until he got to the pen. And that pen, they just didn't want to go into it. He did get it in the end, but they cost him a few, just having a lapse around it and running around and just not settling. So he's got him nice at the moment. Carrying him on his right-hand side, heading towards that pen. And see the sheep just starting to have a bit of a nibble of the grass now, so they really are relaxed. But that's what happens when the dog just surprises them. They take a little jump and they break out, and that's where the point pinches come in. Just a single point here and a single point there, just from their little gallops that they make. The Rabbit's around to the outside, catching them before they get around the back of that pen. Puts a block in. They keep walking. Mick stepping into the circle now. Rabbit comes around. Okay. Let's see how he goes. This has been a bit tricky at times. Got him working, nice direction. There's Rabbit. Well, they're just on the outside of that pen. Wants to try and bend their head back towards where Mick is standing. There they go. Little step in the right direction. Here comes Rabbit again. Nice arc and shape. As she steps in, turns their heads. They're well positioned. Moving backwards and forwards. One's had a look. In they go. Straight in, beautiful. To the back of the pen. They're safe. Mick's decided to go. And gets the gate shut. Mick Hudson, MGH Rabbit, doing the job for Australia. Fantastic trial. We'll see on it. Wait on his score. Scott Hunter from New Zealand, the second competitor out, with Lucy. He's set up Lucy on a right-hand cast. 3 sheep have been released already. We're really getting through them. Bathed in sunshine now. Beautiful sight. It's still pretty chilly out there. So again, Scott will be pressing hard to put a good score up, put the pressure back on the Aussies. Mick Hudson just finishing his run for the Australians. Ben Miller scoring an 80.5 in his first round. So they really are at the top of their game at the moment. They're working beautifully. Scott's just getting Lucy to tippy-toe forward. Tails out like an arrow, head down. Picture of concentration. The sheep are just thinking about what their next move will be. Haven't really lifted yet. There they go. A little break off to the right. And they've got a trot on, so Lucy might have to get over there and adjust them. There she goes. Gets them straightened up. They look pretty relaxed, those three. Not too much trouble at the moment. But the pressure is all on the dog. The sheep want to go back towards the let out. And it's when they come around that winding peg at the bottom where the candler is standing, seems to be when they make a run for it. The wind's just picked up a little bit now and gets a bit swirly. Black clouds are lurking. Don't know what the day will bring. Lucy tippy-toeing towards those sheep. Scott just asking to come in, make an impression. She's careful. He's wanting to hurry up a little bit. Now they get a movement. Lucy's working them slowly towards that winding peg. Just having a little bit of trouble getting them moving. They seem pretty heavy. Might suit him for the rest of the course. If he doesn't upset them here, he might get them walking nicely. Scott's worked those sheep down pretty nicely now. 15 minutes to complete the course, so they've got plenty of time. It's always good to put in a bit of time on the sheep on the draw as they fetch them down to where he's standing, just to try and get on good terms. Because they've got a habit of making a run for it, and here they go. So Lucy's onto it. She's covered them up. And it's as tight as you like in this competition. The third test, Mick Hudson, MGH Rabbit, scored an 80.75 0.25 ahead of the first Kiwi. So it's tight at the top. Terrific scoring so far. Out on the ground at the moment, Scott Hunter with Lucy from New Zealand. He's the second competitor out for New Zealand. And he's working them pretty nicely up the ground. Took a little while, get them down. Took his time, just educating those sheep a little bit. And they made a run for it. Probably not as settled as he'd like. He looked like he had them pretty good. Just the pressure of that obstacle, everything comes to a tight squeeze at that point. They've just broken out behind it. That's not a big deal. Lucy will bring him back around to the front. It's just a tricky position because the dog's got to be in almost two places at once. She's got to push him past where Scott's standing. Looks like he's going to try and put him through the gap. Just teach him where that gap is, so they don't learn there's a space between the handler and the post and the panel. No, they've just broken out a little bit, so he might bring them around the outside this time. They just seem to be not looking at the obstacle at all. They're looking at the dog. So Lucy steps in, turns that one, rolls them around. And get a good look at the sheep right now. You see, they've got their clean heads, they've been wigged. Just the hair from their eyes has been clipped away, but that peripheral vision, that side vision, is where they're struggling to see. Just a bit of wool on the side of their heads. Just make almost like blocking the wing mirrors. And that's what can create some problems with the sheep. Lucy was off on a mission there. She was anticipating him running away. So Scott had to pull him up. And now they're into their drive. Heading towards the Maltese cross. A little jump now, breaking out off course. And these merinos are a little bit difficult to come to terms with. Don't always drive particularly well in threes. They've had a bit of educating, so they're not green sheep. They have been worked a little bit so that they can be driven. You can see they seem to like to have a bit of a run if they get a chance, and there they go again. Maybe breaking down the side of that Maltese cross. Scott steps in, he's into the working area now. He can start to influence his sheep a little more. Lucy steps in, tippy-toeing, concentration. Heads them towards the first opening. Now Scott steps in as well, so giving the sheep really no choice. Where can they go? They can go directly in where they've gone. That's beautiful. That's it. That's all he needed. Pushes them out. Lucy's back around for the next section. So very different to the sheepdog trials in Australia. Lots more human involvement, and the shepherding's permitted. Waving arms, blocking, being a physical block. It's still a sheepdog trial, and the dog's got to be involved. And the dog's got to take an active role in working these obstacles. Can't be just left on the side. Scott making himself big, getting those arms moving, and they're just walking at him. They don't care. But he's good enough. Rolls them around. In they go. Beautifully done as well. Another good demonstration of the Maltese cross. One's just looking at the wrong way. Lucy's there. Out they come. So second part of the driving is from the Maltese cross to the bridge. And you can see they form a triangle. Handler on one side, dog on the other. They just try to take them along, keep them moving. These sheep are pretty good at spinning and spinning on the spot. Here they go again, little break. And Scott has to step up. In he comes again, holding his line. Just pauses a second. And over that handler's line, so here we go. Let's see how the bridge goes. Maltese cross, did it no trouble at all. Bridge. Oh, they look to go, and then they just turned at the lip. So Scott has to step in. Makes himself big. Turns one, turns two, three. Up they go. And off they come. So just the pen to go. 0.25 of a point separating the teams at the moment. Couldn't be any tighter. Scott will obviously give New Zealand a bit of a lead. Let's see what he can do. Get this pen done. You can see in the background now the wind really has picked up a bit. So any score, especially a good one, will put the pressure back on the Australian team. Looking for a clean sweep. They've won the first two tests. So they've got the test series in the bag. But pride is on the line. New Zealand won't want to go 3-0 down, and Australia won't want to drop a test. So Scott and Lucy have just approached that pen now. Scott takes up his position. Lucy on the same side. The pressure's this way. Just a little roll around. He sends her around behind the pen. Just building a fence. Just letting the sheep know you won't be getting behind that pen. And now Lucy, oh, they've just broken out down the side. She just wasn't, she was a bit flat-footed then. Got caught short, and now they come the other side. So that little bit of work he did in putting the dog around the back of the pen hasn't paid off. They've still taken advantage of the gaps and had a little bit of run around. Let's see what she can do here. So important to get the pen. It's got about 2 minutes left, a little bit less. Plenty of time. Here we go. That looks better. Turns them in. Oh, he's going for the gate. They haven't settled. Don't want them coming out. Lucy follows the gate in. Good job. Scott Hunter and Lucy shutting the gate for New Zealand. Another terrific trial. We'll wait on the scores. Jeff Gibson with Polly stepping up to the handler's post. The second of the Australian competitors. Did a good trial yesterday afternoon, representing Australia all the way from Queensland. Polly, very pretty, leggy, mid-coated dog, border collie. And away she goes out onto the right-hand side, sweeping cast. She arrives nice and deep. Sheep are presented. They've had a look at her. Sheep on the left. Big head up. He's already showing that he might go somewhere. So let's see what happens. Polly just has a little sniff of the ground. Steps in. Yeah, she's feeling him leaning this way, so she's made an adjustment. And away they go. So pretty good lift, but they've had a bit of a gallop on. She's impressed them enough to get them moving. And now she slows them up, catches their eye. Just gets into the side vision and just pulls them up, almost like a handbrake. You see how smooth moving dog, almost floats along the ground. No confrontations so far. Pretty happy to move off the dog. Here we go. They've turned to look. And Jeff just taking his time, inching them a little closer towards where he's standing. A little bit of a run, swirling. Not totally settled just yet. Just get the feeling that these guys, given half a chance, these three will be gone. They really look like they want to get going somewhere. Polly, she's quick and she's covered that ground nicely. Just have a little bit of a movement left and right down that draw. And he's a little spin now. Polly's onto it. All the sheep heads up. Three fresh sheep for every run. These guys haven't been on the trial ground before. So everything is new and the sheep get a little bit edgy when they're released. The big open space of the trial ground. And they can see where they can run. They can go anywhere, really. And Polly's job just to make sure they stay on track as they approach where Jeff is standing. Swings around to the head, tippy toes forward. They seem to like her so far. They're not overly upset. Big guy at the front there, same sheep. Just keeps looking to go somewhere else. Polly needs a sheep to take the lead. Little confrontation, little break. She had to be quick, and she was. She sussed that out pretty quickly. That sheep was going to give her some trouble. And she was onto it. Now, a little bit of work pays off. He's in the middle now. He's not happy. Oh, here he goes. He's gone again. Polly's onto it. Wow, that was lightning fast. Like a big cat. Springing to life. Just tucking that sheep back in with the other three. And there he goes again. He's not finished. Blocked again. Oh, good work, Polly. Almost like a quarter horse covering that breaking sheep. Twisting left, twisting right. Hasn't quite delivered the sheep around behind where Jeff is standing. We're into the second competitor for Australia, Jeff Gibson. The two Kiwis have posted pretty good scores. Oh, here we go, big breakaway. It's that same sheep. He just decided to run at the dog and he got it a spin. Still spinning. They're putting pressure right on that dog. And Polly. She needs to impress this sheep. Because he just wants to take ground off the dog. They're right out off course at the moment. Just bringing him back now. Hopefully tuck him into that corridor. There's a bit of pressure from the back of the winding peg. Oh, look at that. Block, cover, hold. She's got it all. She had to have it all. I don't think this sheep's going to give up in a hurry. Little breakaway again. Here he goes again. One more time. Polly has to block him. Unfortunately, he's got her spinning. She's struggling to hang on. He's still going for it. And again. Oh, they're sitting pretty good now. They're sitting in front of the obstacle, so if they do go anywhere, hopefully they go through that. But Jeff has to get into that circle before they do. Polly's holding him up. Steps into the circle. And as fortune would have it, they go straight through. All right, let's get Polly off the head. Let's get her onto the drive. Make her feel a little more comfortable. And Jeff can help here, but that sheep isn't going to give up. He needs to be managed. He's running left, he's running right, and he nearly fell over even. So Jeff just taking his time, not moving at the moment. He stepped through the gap, but he hasn't tried to take them anywhere yet. He just needs Polly to get them on course. And they looked all right for a moment, and then that big sheep decided, well, I'm going to go for a bit of a run again. Just stepping into the course now. And Jeff might be able to come in and help a little bit. Gee, we ask a lot of these dogs, don't we? Early morning, swirling wind, crazy merinos. Jeff keeping nice and wide, not trying to upset the sheep. Any pressure he puts on him puts some pressure back on the dog. So he's just staying as wide as he can, giving them somewhere to come. And Polly's just inching them closer. It's not a real tidy flowing drive, but they're getting the job done. Heading in the right direction. Jeff's very experienced handler. Represented Australia a number of times. Trophy cabinet would be full. So he's going to need all his experience here to pull it out of the bag, because these guys just don't seem to want to play. And they're having a run round the back. Just off to the side, not quite all the way around, fortunately. Polly was there. And Jeff had a little bit of trouble at the Maltese Cross yesterday. He had one sheep that just decided to do it in a different way to the others. So, he's coming again, and around they go again. So, this Maltese Cross has proven to be a bit of a tricky obstacle for Jeff and Polly. And they're really having a run-off. Break quite a distance now off to the back of the trial ground. What can she do? How can she salvage something out of this? They're not coming in the right direction yet. Just wanting to break around the back of the Maltese cross. As Polly inches him closer. Jeff takes a step back, opens the space. If he can, just get them to bend their heads as they come around. Had a bit of a look then. Oh, they've tucked into the corner again. There's a bit of tension in this obstacle for the moment. And Polly's got to dig them out of that corner now. Their heads are all buried right in there. They're tight. What can she do? Steps in, nose to nose. Where will they go? Oh, little block, little cover. Good work. She was quick. And he's gone in. One's gone. That doesn't help things. He needs all three to step in. And now that sheep sort of sucks him into the corner a little bit. Here we go. 2. This guy won't want to be on his own. Surely. Just confronting for Polly. Tail wag. Trying hard to pull him out of that corner. Here he comes. He's taking her on. He feels a bit isolated. He doesn't want to be alone. And Jeff's brought her into to bring the other two out. That's worked. Okay. Spin them around and pop them through. Molly's nose. They've come out. They've come right out and one's gone for a run. Well, this is getting messy. I feel for Jeff. It's tough. They just don't want to cooperate. They look like tricky sheep. Pretty much from when he got them around the winding peg. They put it to Polly on the draw. Came down to the handler's post and had a bit of a run. And now this Maltese cross is proving to be quite the nightmare. Jeff Gibson for Australia. This time, pops them through. Not done yet. Half completed. It's taken a little while to get them through this Maltese cross. So Jeff's going to have to get his skates on. Through they go. Still not clear. And away they go. So, Bridge and Penn, not much time left. He's going to need to get a move on. He really needs to complete the course to post a reasonable score. And he's going to struggle if he doesn't get a move on because time is ticking away. Scott Hunter scored a 77.5 with Lucy. So Kiwis got a bit of a lead now, and if Jeff is going to need to keep him in touch. Test 3 of a 3-test series. Australia won the first 2. So the pressure's off a little bit. But pride's on the line. Jeff Gibson for Australia just working towards that bridge. Just having a little bit of a battle with the 3 sheep that he's drawn. Here we go. Got some movement. Got some good movement now. Heading towards the bridge. Up and over. What can he do? Time's ticking away. Into that free working area. Jeff just trying to guide them in. And they've decided to slip down the side. So everything he does, these sheep have got to answer for at the moment. They don't really want to play. And Polly's got them now right in front. Jeff steps in. Up they go. Polly's going up to shift them. They camped on the lip. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Good. Bridge complete. Tick. Time's his enemy. 30 seconds to go to get that pen. He might struggle. He will struggle if he doesn't get a move on. And unfortunately, those sheep are standing Polly up again and not coming along. Time ticks away. Very important. This section, 30 points here. It's a big loss if he doesn't get it done. He's going to struggle. And unfortunately for Jeff, the sheep took the points and he didn't get to the pen. So Jeff Gibson from Australia, concluding his 3-test series with Polly. Not quite able to get the pen. That'll give the Kiwis a bit of an advantage. But still, some top trialers to come and plenty of great dogs. So it's not done yet. Stuart Child, the next competitor for New Zealand with Diesel. Diesel's been impressive. Impressive throughout the trial. Big leggy black and white dog. Posted some great scores for New Zealand, but also in the Supreme Championship as well, has done a great job as well. So, good trial. Big day again for Diesel and Stuart. And our 3 sheep are released. Just waiting on the buzzer. Time's away. 15 minutes. Jeff Gibson struggled to complete for Australia. Just got 3 cranky sheep that just wanted to put it to the dog. And that slows things up a bit. Polly worked her heart out, but just couldn't get the job done. They just wouldn't want to flow, and that Maltese cross was his undoing. But out there now, Stuart Child with Diesel for New Zealand. What can he do? What has he got? We'll look at the sheep at the moment. And we're just checking out Diesel. Heads are up. Again, 3 pretty even weathers. Diesel just edging closer. They don't look too fast at the moment. And just take a little walk. That's nice. Diesel adjusts, straightens them up. And see how careful these dogs have to be, these touchy sheep. They can't come rolling in and bowling in because they'll start running. And once they run, they don't think. And once they're not thinking, they're just running. We just need them to work at a trot, not a run, more of a walk than a run. But that flow is very important. The consistent movement is very important. Here we go. That's better. And they are a bit stop-starting. And it's just that challenge they put on the dog. They decide to suss out the dog, see if the dog is capable of moving them. And Diesel's impressed them enough to get them ticking along nicely now. Little breakaway to the right. And every big distance on the dog now. He's got to steer him from a long way out. So Stu will get him to come in a bit and see if he can get in contact a bit better. Because the further the dog is off the sheep, the more opportunity they've got to just wander around the course. And these corridors are pretty narrow. Welcome to all our viewers from all over the world. We've got people in Europe listening in, America, New Zealand, Australia. To watch this Test match series, Test match number 3. Australia done really well, winning the first 2 last night, only by 2.5 points. And we're into the final test of the 3-test series. And it's New Zealand that's setting the pace at the moment. Salvaging a little bit of pride with Stuart. Child's out there, he's working Diesel. As he edges closer to those 3 sheep, nose to nose, just pushing them around behind Stuart, and he'll bring them round on his right-hand side, and then up this 9-metre corridor into the Australian part of the trial. Pretty nicely done, actually, really well done. He's got them right on course, tucked in on his hip. Diesel comes around to straighten them up. You can see the big sheep at the front now is starting to present. There seems to be one in every group that steps up, and you can see he's leading the way. If he's a good leader, he'll keep them at a steady pace. If he's not a good leader, if he's going to go on his own, he'll go fast. But so far, he's taking them on a nice little stroll right in the middle of the corridor. And Diesel just puts a block on the head for a second, slows them up, lets them know that if they start to run, he's going to apply the brakes. Just getting a little bit of a trot on. Diesel's got it covered. And he's a really good leader. He's bringing him right up the middle of that corridor, and the other 2 guys are just tagging along for the ride. Stuart and Diesel doing a fantastic job for New Zealand as he steps into that handler's circle. So the sunshine's gone away now and the cloud covers come in. As the sheep progress through that gap like they've done it a million times. Well, that was beautifully done. And they just waited for Stu to catch up, and away they go. This is looking like a very, very good run. But as we saw Jeff Gibson get to the Maltese cross and the wheels really fell off, they just did not want to go down it. So what might look okay at the moment may turn messy. Let's see what happens. He's got a great leader, setting the pace. Nice steady walk. And Diesel's just walking behind his eye, keeping him ticking over, steering from the side. Beautifully done. Diesel, 4-year-old dog. Plenty of years left in him. Bred from AI, from a dog owned by Stuart's father, Neville. So a history of fantastic breeding and sheepdogs in the family. And Diesel proving that he's got the goods because he's doing this as nice as we've seen this morning. Setting him up for that Maltese cross. Just bends that leader in. Stuart steps in now. Here we go. Pressure's on. What can he do? Turns them nicely. And out they come. Well, pretty well done. Mick Hudson did it pretty nicely too, so getting in the right sheep in the right position. Maltese crosses look pretty easy. And then the wrong sheep, and it's looked pretty tough. They're just milling around the entrance there. Oh, he just rolled them around beautifully. Lovely work. Straight through. So they're away. They're off to the next part, the bridge. You can see they want to draw to the middle of the ground. So Stuart takes the right-hand side, gives Diesel the left. That's where the weight of the sheep are pulling. Just spinning around. He's just got the leader heading in the wrong direction at the moment. Everything's stopped. So when the dog stops, the human stops, and the sheep stop, the judges get the pencil out. They want to see movement. They don't want to see these pauses. Not overly costly, but an ideal run is sheep continuing to flow. You see, they just want to suck onto Stuart at the moment. They're just rolling around back towards where he's standing. Here we go, a bit better now. Judge Pat Coogan in the middle there from New Zealand. Just following along behind, keeping an eye on things. And out on the boundary, Billy Davison for the Australian team. So Jeff Gibson struggled in his run to complete. Didn't get the pen. Scored a 34.25. Giving the Kiwis a bit of a lead at the moment going into the third run. With Stuart Child out there at the moment with Diesel doing a pretty good job. Hasn't had a lot of hiccups. Everything's run pretty smoothly. He just pops them up over the bridge. Diesel's going to have to go and shift them off the bridge. They're not jumping off. Up he goes. Still not coming off yet. Oh no, they're turning and looking at the dog at the moment. This is a bit confrontational. Diesel's right up there in their face. Stuart's flapping his arms, trying to get him to jump off, and they've just camped up there for the moment. Diesel's right on him. What can he do? How can he get him to budge? Not much happening. The sheep have got his measure at the moment. They're not going to move. What's Diesel going to do? Here we go. A little bit of stirring. One's had a look. One's off. 2, 3. Wow. Well, that could have all come unstuck at a very critical point in the trial. They didn't look like they were going to move. And there's only so many things a dog can do. And we saw one of the dogs go up there in the early trials and give them a little nip and got penalised harshly for it. But they're off to the pen. Plenty of time. He's worked this trial pretty nicely. Diesel's doing a great job. Just walking along, great pace. A little bit of a gallop up now, and we've seen before where good runs have come unstuck at the pen for some reason. Even though the sheep are in a good frame of mind, they just get to that pen and go a bit silly. Stewart can get them in the pen. He's going to put the pressure right on the Australians because they've got a bit of a lead at the moment. Steps into his handler's circle. He's got that lead sheep walking beautifully straight towards the middle of the pen. He just balked a moment for a moment. Stomps his feet. Diesel steps in. Oh, he's looking for that gap. Diesel's there. You see, he's just looking. He's seen the gap. Diesel's got to make sure he doesn't go for it. Turns his head. Inching them closer. They're right there. They just got to take a couple of steps. Oh, a bit of a fight. Different sheep this time. He spun around to look at Diesel. And this is what happened on the bridge. He just had to get him to move. And the guy's going down the side. No, he's blocked it. Beautiful work. Stewart checks his watch. Time can slip away very, very quickly when things are not progressing. He's got him nice. The lead guy's gone in. Just that tail end sheep, just not turning off the dog. He's turning the face. Feels the pressure. Diesel steps in again. What's going to happen? Got to be careful. Doesn't want to explosion. Just backing Diesel off a little bit. See if he can swing it around. Working the tail. Stepping in now. Nose to nose. I just don't want to move off him. The second sheep joins the fight. There we go, little bump. Oh, nicely done. Into the back of the pen. Stewart gets the gate. Well, that was heart in the mouth stuff, and what a great result. Stewart Child with Diesel getting the gate shut for the New Zealand team.
Whether we're out trialling or when we're working our stock, our dogs need to be in peak physical and mental condition. That's why we feed our dogs High Pro Premium. It has the right balanced formula for active and working dogs to keep them going.
High Pro, that's the go. High Pro, that's the go. Get behind.
Grant Cook for Australia. His dog Grass Valley Bluey takes his position at the post. Grant all the way from Western Australia. Had a good test series so far. Bluey's done a great job. 10-year-old dog round the outside of the trial ground. And the sheep have come out and they've already got a little trot on. So Bluey arrives. A little bit tighter than the others, but the sheep had already left. And she's onto it already. A little bit of a gallop up. And Grant looks like he's got a 3 runners here. Haven't settled. Bluey hasn't got in contact with them just yet. Just broken off to the right-hand side of the ground. Far side of the ground. And Bluey's just trying to get hold of them. Impress them enough to get them moving, but not to upset them. And they've just had a gallop on, running all the way around the back. Haven't really come on course yet. I'm pretty happy to walk at the dog at the moment. A bit of tension now because they're right on the fence. Oh, Bluey swung them back around. Good job. And these sheep look a little bit touchy. The wind's picked up. That sun's bathing at the moment, but the cloud covers around. And they've been waiting in the let out for a little while, and they've come out a little bit high, I think. Grant Cook and Bluey just trying to manage those sheep. And oh, look at the breakaway. Bluey's onto it. They're really a lively bunch. Spinning left, spinning right. Gets to the head. Gets to the head again. Just putting those blocks in. Trying to get them to just walk a little bit instead of run. That's block left, block right. You see the work that he's doing, just trying to get them to settle. They haven't settled quite yet, but they're still within range. And he's got a pretty good leader there that just wants to go anywhere but where the dog wants him to go. And now we've got him in 3 different directions. Goodness. They look tricky. Grant's represented Australia a number of times, been the captain. Travelled to New Zealand to compete, so pretty experienced campaigner. And Bluey's been a rep dog previously for Australia as well, so this is not new territory for these guys. Grant just having a little word to Bluey. You see a look at him and say, well, okay, I'll settle down a bit too if you let me. Gets to the head again. Just not really staying settled. Bluey's pretty close to them. She might be upsetting them as well. She's got right under their nose. We saw Diesel in the previous run. He gave them huge distance, and it might have been the trick, just that bit of width. Working from a little bit further off. Bluey's right on them. And they're not enjoying it at the moment. Oh, he's gone through. I see Grant asking her to get out of it. And Bluey's going, yeah, I'll give it some thought. It's a bit of a negotiation. So they're into the drive. Didn't take it too long to get there, but it was a bit chaotic for a moment. We saw with Jeff Gibson from Australia, the sheep put it to Polly, and when he got to the Maltese cross, it just went a little bit haywire. So these guys don't look settled at all. They're running. Running hard too, so Bluey's having to really work, keep these under control. Heading towards the Maltese cross. There's a drive section, but there wasn't a lot of driving going on. They just wanted to run. Now they go into that Maltese cross free working area. Bluey's caught them before they get around the back. Grant just taking up his position. Bluey stepping in. There they go. Bringing them around. We saw them bury into that corner with Jeff's dog. Grant's onto it. Through they go. And out they come. So, first part completed. Oh, be careful, Bluey. She nearly put them back in again. She seems pretty pumped up this morning. Okay, back around the front. They've had a run. Grant scratching his head, wondering what to do. They're spinning around. Good position, lined up. Just got to inch them a bit closer to that opening. Grant steps in, Bluey steps in. Just come past that opening a little bit. There they go. Through they go. And they've just stopped in the middle for a second. Bluey's in the corner. Be careful, they don't push him out the wrong way. They've got to come directly straight. And they're just looking in the wrong direction at the moment. Grant's trying to get himself in a position to get him to bend. Here we go. One's rolled. Haven't come out yet though. Grant gets the star jump going. See if you can get the arms flapping, but they're just nose to nose with Bluey at the moment. Judge is getting himself in a better position just in case something happens. They've just camped up for the moment. We saw this on the bridge earlier with Stuart's dog Diesel. They just get into a position where they're comfortable and they don't want to move. He was good enough. What can Bluey do? They're all facing her. She's right in there. Grant just taking a step in. Bluey taking a step in. He needs her to hold her nerve. He doesn't want her to do something stupid. He backs her off. They're just looking the wrong direction. Their heads are on the wrong end. And there's nothing Grant can do, really. He can't step in and help. He's got to stay outside of that Maltese cross, and Bluey's the one that's got to do the work. She's right in there. Little nip. Out they come. Well done, Bluey. And they came out like they were shot, though. They're running. They're running hard. It was like they were shot out of a cannon. And Bluey's little nip, they didn't like that at all. But she had to do something. So Grant hasn't left the free working area yet. He's brought him back on course, getting him set up for this next drive over to the bridge. And here we go, Bluey again, having to do all the work. Gets them heading in the right direction now. Oh, we've seen some great trialling this morning, some terrific dogs and handlers, some tough sheep. It's been a real contest. That's what we like to see. We don't want it to be a walk in the park. We want these problems to be solved, and the dogs and the handlers have done an amazing job to get this done. I don't see anything could have happened in that Maltese cross. They could have gone anywhere, but Bluey stepped in, gave them a nudge, and they're on their way to the bridge. Oh, they're making a run for it. Bluey's there, round the back. Well, that's unfortunate again. Boy, they have proven to be a task. Stuart Child. Score comes through, 93.75. Terrific score, and possibly the top score of the test series to date. Fantastic result. Out there at the moment, Grant Cook with Bluey, just completing that bridge. Bluey seems to have lifted another notch. She's pretty pumped because these sheep are really putting it to her, and she's having to work her little heart out. And away they go again. So time's not an issue, got plenty of time, but sheep seem to be the issue. And you don't want to get to the pen with too much time up your sleeve when you've got sheep that don't want to play very well. Stuart Child setting the trial cause alight with a fantastic score and giving New Zealand quite a buffer. And, putting him in the box seat for this third and final test. Grant Cook approaching the pen. And I'd say he'd be pretty happy if he gets the gate shut here. He'd be relieved because these sheep have really given him a bit of a workout. And Bluey as well. Steps into the handler's circle. They've had a run. Oh, down the side. Tua looked to go in. Oh, goodness me. She's just like a cat on a hot tin roof. She's just fired up. And now she has to go nose to nose with this single. Here we go. A bit better now. 3 together at least. And they've taken them around the outside. So time is a problem because he might have a little bit too much. If they're not going to play the game, they're going to run some points off. They just won't settle. Here we go. This time. Tuck them in. No, they're making a run for it. Oh, one thing's for sure. Bluey's having a ball. I'm not sure Grant would agree. But she's got quite a smile on her face as they go towards the pen and in. Well, that was a question mark that's been answered. Grant Cook with Grass Valley Bluey getting the gate shut for the Australian team. Leo Edgington, the final of the New Zealand competitors, stepping to the handler's post. Huge day of trialling here in Geelong and Victoria. Finals all day. Third test this morning starting at 7:30, and we're nearly completed the Australian versus New Zealand test match and test series. Australia will win the series 2-0, but Kiwis are fighting hard to make it 2-1. And they've got the runs on the board at the moment with some terrific trialling. Later today we've got the Improver final and then the ultimate top 10. We'll fight it out for the Supreme Championship. So fantastic trialling if you're sitting at home and you've got access to your live feed. Settle down and do it. I think something's gone wrong. They've decided to cancel those sheep. Something the judge saw they didn't like. He's asked that they get taken off. So we'll just reset again for a moment. Not sure what's happened there, but obviously the judge has decided those sheep are not what he'd like, or he's got something that he's unhappy about on the course. So Leo steps away from the post. But a big day of trialling ahead in Geelong. The weather ahead looks a little stormy. Some dark clouds over the top, swirling wind. It's been like that all week. Dogs and handlers are pretty used to it. So they'll be getting their eye in now. We'll see some absolutely top trialers and dogs throughout the day as we move towards the Supreme Champion. Billy Davison just heading back with the buggy. Getting set to go again. Leo Edgington with Roxy for New Zealand. And he can slam the gate here with a good score. It's going to be really hard for the Australians to catch up. Only one trialer left. But if he falls over, he can leave the gate open. So, bit of pressure. Bit of pressure. Leo's had a good series so far. Roxy's been a wonderful working dog. So we're set to go. 3 new sheep. I wonder if these 3 will be better. They came out pretty nicely. Look like 3 even sheep again. Leo and Roxy. Bell goes. Out she runs. Smooth-coated, tri-coloured dog, bitch. And she's running out nice and wide. Little adjustment there to make them straight. 3 sheep. Let's see what he's got. This is the test. That first introduction when the dog just comes in. And it's the first contact, and that's when we find out what these sheep are going to react like. And Roxy, look at her sideways step, middle adjustment. Stops, waits for the sheep to roll off her. So again, it's the one that's facing the dog at the moment with his head up. It looks to be the leader. Just on the left-hand side of the group. Roxy facing him up now. The other 2 look okay at the moment. It does change. We saw it at the pen a few moments ago with Grant Cook, where the lead sheep was pretty happy to run in, and then the others one of the others decided to do laps and then take the dog on. Roxy tippy-toeing forward. Look at that tail set nice and low, head down. And they're all different in style, these dogs. Looks like Roxy's got a lot of eye and concentration. We saw Diesel earlier, and he just puffed his chest out when he approached the sheep. Made himself big, taller. Roxy gets into a crouch. She settled these sheep very well. They look really nice. Not upset. No running yet. But the weight's all up the ground, so they take a little bit of pushing away from that let out. Heading towards and into the wind. And then when they come around that winding peg, they get their head of steam up and make a run for it. Doing a beautiful job so far, rolling them around, bringing them nice and quietly up to where Leo is standing. Just a little bit of pressure as they approach the handler. The heads are just lifted up now. Roxy just touching them quietly. See what they do. Oh, here we go. A little break. Something spooked that sheep. That's what the wind will do. Something caught this eye and it just had a bit of a jump. And looked to be going pretty nicely until then. And then all of a sudden, like it got a zap. And it's still not happy. Sometimes when they've got that little bit of wool on the side of their eyes, they can't quite see fully from behind, and they get a bit of a spook. And then the next sheep spooks them, and it just continues. It becomes a bit of a snowball. And every movement gets them a little bit more edgy. And here he goes again, little pork barrel sheep at the front. He doesn't look very happy at the moment. Roxy's done a good job, got him down around behind Leo. He's just trying to line him up for this next part of the course, and that same sheep is leading the way on a bit of a run. Stayed on course, that's good. Roxy puts the blocks in. Away he goes. Break out left, break out right. Goodness. So they've gone from a little walk to quite a gallop, and they're spinning. And this is what happened to Grant Cook's run as well. This is the trouble where it all happened. And Bluey just lifted. But Roxy's given him a bit more distance. She seems a bit more settled. She might be able to get them down again. Looking better. So that guy at the front, he's going. Where he goes. He's going, and he's going hard. See the one behind, he just wants to eat grass and doesn't really want to be even out there. But it's that front sheep. He's pretty keen to take as many points as he can off Roxy and Leo. Keeping calm, keeping cool. approaching that first obstacle. So Grant Cook, Grass Valley Bluey, had a few little hiccups around the course, scored a 58.75. Not making inroads onto the New Zealand score. So at the moment, Kiwis have a lead, and Leo's going to add to it today. So Leo's completed that gap very nicely. Just put a little bit of time in, took his time trying to get them to settle down again. They came out pretty good. Just as they approached the handler's post, something happened. The sheep saw something that he didn't like or got a bit of a jump, and they just went a bit crazy. But they're looking better now. Leo making himself big. And they're off to the Maltese cross. And this looks quite the picture now. Dog on one side, handler on the other. Sheep walking nicely. A little trot. Roxy just stepped a little bit too far and spun him around. Better there than getting them around the obstacle. And now they front up. So they're looking at Leo. He can come in and just bend their heads. Roxy pushes them forward. And swirling. Little one's had a look. Good cover. Just a tiny movement just to get that sheep straightened up. And she was good. She was right onto it, knew the job. And now into the second part. So, with Grant's score not being particularly high, this leaves the gate wide open for New Zealand to come in and take the test with this run. It hasn't been perfect. Oh, and they just gave him a bit of trouble then. Broke away. One's in. Comes out to join its mates. He stayed calm and stayed cool, and he's got... Oh, one that doesn't come out. Oh, he got away with that one pretty well. They've just camped a little bit inside that wing. And out they come. So Leo, big opportunity to put the test out of reach for Australia with a good score here. And he's doing a pretty good job. Keeping things ticking over, keeping them on course, heading for that bridge. But as they say, not over until the fat lady sings. We've still got 2 obstacles to get. And still the pen. And we've seen trial after trial where not everything has gone to plan. So heading towards that bridge, inching closer. Roxy goes nose to nose. A little breakaway. She's quick, covers it nicely. I just wanted to roll out the mouth of that bridge. There we go, straight up. Got a good leader and straight over. So that's good. They're not over yet, though. She's going to have to go and bump them off, is she? No, here they go. So that's a relief. Leo will be feeling a little bit better about the whole thing. Just the pen to go. Roxy comes in behind, just tickles them along. Just bumps them back on course into that corridor, 9 metre corridor. And they're breaking away now on the other side, so it's only a small indiscretion, nothing costly. Couple of points here, couple of points there. If he can get this gate shut, he's going to make it pretty hard for the Australians. He's walking nicely. Got the sheep in a good frame of mind. Roxy just leaving them alone for the moment. They might just get a head of steam up as they get closer to that pen. So round she goes. Covers that break. Leo takes his position up. We'll see what they're going to do. They have been tough. The pen hasn't been a walk in the park, that's for sure. He's got a couple of minutes left, or a little bit under 2 minutes left. Plenty of time if things go well. Got him walking nicely, heading towards that gap. Always one's had a look. We're just swirling at the front. There he goes. In he goes. Doesn't look settled. He's turned around to face the dog. Leo doesn't care. He's going for the gate. Let's get it shut. Shutting the gate for New Zealand. Leo and Roxy. And we'll see his score in a few moments. Will Goggin from representing Australia from New South Wales. Trixie is his black and white border collie. He steps to the plate. A pretty good run from Leo, so he may well have already taken the test for New Zealand. They had quite a lead coming in, and it won't take a big score to put it beyond Will's ability to get it. What's happened here? Dog's gone. He's called the dog back. So maybe nerves got the better of him, or the dog heard something and went before the whistle. She's away this time anyway. Trixie coming around on the right-hand side of the course, coming to those 3 fresh sheep. Once again, 3 nice even ones. Big guy on the far right. Heads up. Got a little bit of a run on. Will's first time representing for Australia, done a great job. Posted a good score in each of his runs. Been a great representative, and he's had a very good trial. A couple in the top 20. Progressed through to the top 10 also in the Supreme Championship. But here he is representing Australia, the green and gold, in this third of the 3 Test match series. Australia will go home with a cup, but New Zealand have shown that they're a force to be reckoned with, because they're putting on quite a trial this morning. Some terrific scores. So Trixie's completed that first section. She's got the cast and draw down to where Will was standing. Come around behind him. They've just had an extra lap. One of the sheep had an extra lap because they're not completely settled. And just gone off a little bit off course now for Will as he heads towards the first obstacle, the gap. So he's got to continue to walk. He can walk backwards. But he's got to continue to walk. And he's got to continue to walk in an even, not changing pace. You see he took a step backwards then. The judge deems that that backward step is shepherding the sheep or blocking the sheep. He'd penalise him. But if it's just so he can see, then he won't penalise him at all. Stopping's allowed, but it is costly. It costs a point or two. And they really should only stop in the circles set up at the side of each obstacle. And this is the Australian section. So the course is split in two, 50-50, half New Zealand, half Australian. In Australia, we carry our sheep on the right-hand side in the 9-metre corridor on the Supreme course. It's not the same for every trial. All over Australia, there are different trials. But this is the Supreme course. This is the ultimate test. And then this has been the variation, which is the Trans-Tasman course. The Trans-Tasman includes the New Zealand elements, and we're going to go into that just short in a moment when he pops them through this gap. So Will Goggin with Trixie. Got those sheep pretty relaxed now, nibbling on the grass. Just going to try and just pop them through that gap and then go into the drive, which is the New Zealand section. The driving, pushing the sheep instead of heading the sheep. Well, they'll have to head if they make a run for it. So he just shuffled that little one into the middle. Now he's got them lined up. And through they go. Beautifully done. Trixie just getting told to wait for a moment. Don't get ahead of yourself. And away they go, heading to the Maltese cross. So the drive section here, the dog has got to stay behind the lead sheep, as the handler also has to. And it's a 15-metre corridor marked with those markers, the orange markers, 15 metres in width. And ideally the sheep don't get more than 15 metres ahead of you. The handler can stop, so he doesn't go past the sheep. But that is pretty much a picture of how it should be done. He did that beautifully. Stayed in his pocket, dog stayed in the pocket, sheep continued down the middle of the corridor in a nice, even fashion. Great demonstration by Will and Trixie of the New Zealand part of the Trans-Tasman course. And now we go into the Maltese cross. Will steps in, Trixie steps in, squeezes them through. And then back around and out the other side. Trixie's onto the job already, got them under control, heading towards the opening. A little stirred. Oh, he's had a breakaway. Will's there, blocks it. They just lifted a little bit as they came out of that opening. Trixie was onto it. Still not right. Will just getting Trixie to reverse off. Look at that backwards movement. Almost like joystick commands. Backwards, forwards, left and right. Oh, block, hold. And, oh, gee, she did a great job there. She just spun them around. Covered them, spun them around and poked them through. And Will, I don't even think Will saw what was happening. It was so quick. She did such a good job. He just had to stand there and hold his side. But now they're running. They've just gone off to the far side of the course. So Will switch sides. He's having a run as well, getting his skates on, running quickly. They've got a head of steam up now, and away they go. Goodness. So that little bit of move that Trixie did, popping them through the Maltese cross, just upset them a bit. Because they came out of there like they were shot and never stopped. And they've taken a point or two as they've fled the course. But we're back on track now. Back in front of the bridge. Up they go. Beautifully done. And off. So Will holds his position. And now he's into the carry. Sheep are not settled at all. They're running a bit. Will Goggin from Australia, our last competitor in the Trans-Tasman test for Australia versus New Zealand. Leo Edgington for New Zealand, the fourth representative. Just been on the course a moment ago, scored a terrific 84.5, and that pretty much puts the test beyond reach for Australia because it gives them a lead of 162 points, 62.5, and there's only 100 points on offer for Will. So it is all about pride of the green and gold as Will goes to the gate. He can't recover the test for Australia from this point. New Zealand will go away with a well-earned victory. But still losing the series 2-1, 2 tests to 1. So he'll want to finish the trial on a good note. He's heading to the pen. He's got him on his right-hand side nicely. Trixie's just steering him from behind. As they approach that pen, he's about to step into that handler's circle. Just inching closer. One down the side, just its nose, poked its nose down the side. Trixie's there to bend it back again. Right in front of that mouth of that pen, ready to go. It's always a relief once they finally cross the line. And Trixie just got to inch forward now. Take a step in. She's just holding. One's had a look. In he goes. Trixie sits down, takes the pressure off. Covers that head. Rolls it in. In they go. Will's going for the gate. Takes his time. Picks it up. And shuts the gate for Australia. Terrific trial from Will Goggin from New South Wales, representing Australia, and his little dog Trixie. And that concludes our Trans-Tasman Test Series. Australia winning the series 2-1. New Zealand, we won't know the full score at the end, but we'll come away with a win and go home across the ditch with some consolation. Fantastic trial. We've got a big day of trialling ahead. Stick around. The course will be changed back to the Supreme Course, and they'll run a Improver final, and then we move into the top 10 for the ultimate prize of the Supreme Champion here in Geelong for High Pro. We'll see you soon.
Our mission at High Pro Pet Foods is to become the global leader of innovative and quality pet foods made with care in the heart of the Hawkesbury Valley, Australia. I'm John Camilleri. I'm the Managing Director of High Pro Pet Foods. High Pro started in the mid-90s as a stock food manufacturer out of a small shed, and we ran out of that for the first 5 years. Today, High Pro Pet Foods has become one of our major players in the market. The focus today is all about respecting your animal, the food and nutrition, and looking after its well-being. Quality assurance is the most important thing in making pet food. We source through our quality control management plan, where the certification processes are quite in-depth process. A lot of ingredients go into make a top quality dog food and cat. Traceability is critical. We've put systems in place to do that. We can trace every ingredient back to its source to give assurance to the pet owner on their quality. We have a full service production line to cater across the board for all of our products. High Pro Pet Foods has grown to become a parent company to a number of brands including Dog Pro, Cat Pro, Supervite, High Pro Premium, Pure Life, Bark and Beyond and many more. I have a team. They're always innovating and making new products, new packaging, new design of recipes. We've invested a lot in robotics. We've invested a lot in automation for the future. Today, High Pro Pet Foods has grown to 140 staff. A lot of my children have worked in the business and still are. They're very passionate about our company and the brand in every area that they work in the business. We're reaching out now interstate to Brisbane, Melbourne and Adelaide, where High Pro will be opening up new distribution centres to service our stores more frequently. Today, it's no longer a pet. We love our pets as much as we love our children. I love what we do at High Pro Pet Foods. I get up every morning with a passion to come to work. The comments we get from the field or from the clients or from the stores, plus also the excitement of my team. We can't wait for the next exciting project to come through.
So we have our final scores. Will Goggin scored a 74.25 in his final run, giving the New Zealanders the win. Australian total of 248 points. Beaten by New Zealand on 336.25. Congratulations to the Kiwis, taking home the third and final test. Congratulations to Australia on winning the series. Next year, the Supreme Championship will be over in Western Australia, and the Test match series will be held in New Zealand. So the guys will be vying for an opportunity to travel with the Australian team to New Zealand to compete across the ditch. And there is no bigger task in sheepdog trialling for the Australians to compete with the New Zealand home ground. Congratulations to all, and we look forward to you following the Supreme Championship as we enter the finals later this morning.